Calvin cycle explained, let's go. So I guarantee you'll have heard a plethora of different explanations for the Calvin cycle, but you'll have heard not a single one as good as this, because not only am I going to exemplify a bunch of facts to you, I'm going to give you the tools to piece them together. So if you remember in GCSE, you'll have been given the word equation, carbon dioxide plus water is oxygen plus glucose. Okay, so the whole purpose behind photosynthesis is to produce glucose. Okay, we've established that. So how does this work? Light-dependent reaction, light-independent reaction, also known as Calvin cycle. So in the light-dependent reaction, we form reduced NADP and we form ATP. Alright, good. We've got our reduced NADP, we've got our ATP. Now we've got the Calvin cycle. What happens in the Calvin cycle? Okay, you've got carbon dioxide. It's coming in through our word equation. Okay, so what happens is that carbon dioxide reacts with ribulose bisphosphate, catalyzed by Rubisco, to form a 6-carbon molecule. Okay, this then splits into 2 molecules of glycerate 3-phosphate. Fair enough. Okay, now the glycerate 3-phosphate molecules, 2 of them, they're reduced. How are they reduced? So the reduced NADP formed in the light-dependent reaction is oxidized to form protons and electrons. These protons and electrons are then gained by the glycerate 3-phosphate. The way this happens is that ATP is hydrolyzed, 2 ATP are hydrolyzed, and this gives energy for the reduction to happen. Okay, after the 2 molecules of glycerate 3-phosphate are reduced, they form 2 molecules of triose phosphate. So if we remember glucose, it has 6 carbons and triose phosphate has 3. So what this means is that you need 2 molecules of triose phosphate to generate a hexose sugar like glucose. Okay, but however, let me tell you this. 5 out of 6 triose phosphate molecules are used to regenerate ribulose bisphosphate. So the cycle keeps happening over and over again. So that means out of 6 triose phosphate molecules, so in one Calvin cycle you produce 2, right? So to produce 6, you need to have 3 Calvin cycles. So in 3 Calvin cycles, you make 1 triose phosphate molecule that's used for making glucose. So essentially, alright, so that means we need 6 Calvin cycles to produce 2 triose phosphates that are both used for glucose production, and therefore we need, essentially, since we have another ATP being hydrolyzed to regenerate ribulose bisphosphate, that means we use 3 ATP and 2 reduced NADP. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12, so we use 12 reduced NADP, and 3 times 6 is 18, so we use 18 ATP. So essentially that's how many ATP and reduced NADP you need to make a molecule of glucose, and that is the Calvin cycle for you, ladies and gentlemen. I've highlighted how it's regenerated, I've highlighted how many triose phosphate molecules you need to produce glucose, I've highlighted that you need 6 Calvin cycles to produce 1 molecule of glucose, I've highlighted how many ATP and reduced NADP you need, and I've highlighted it in the context of making hexose sugars and organic molecules. I hope you understood. Thank you for watching.